We're saying welcome to Things Invest, talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's edit terms only, the investment on top today will be Cardano and Solana. So, with respect to the technical analysis I'm going to perform going forward, it's non-biased, and I'm just frankly reading charts. Looking at the technicals on a MACD and RSI perspective, on seeing the momentum, and ideally what the level that we should be dollar cost averaging. Okay, so starting from the first one, right? Let's go with Cardano first, known as the green one. So we said we've been surging up for the last couple of days so far, right? Ever since the 9th, we have been surging from the $1.45, which is the percolation level that we've had prior to the level that we've tested before on this 18th of June. We also tested a couple of times on the 4th of July, and subsequently because of that percolations, because of one large macro catalyst, and I believe it's the fork that's expected to happen sometimes in September coming up. Is driving a lot of buying pressure, the anticipated pressure, with a lot of investors on the public side buying in at the same time on driving the supply and demand dynamic imbalance, which is what you see in front of the MACD right now, right? The MACD is extremely overbought, extremely stretched up at the same time, on top of the fact that RSI is highly overbought right now. Okay, so something to be mindful of with respect to Cardano, but I do think we might keep going with respect to the surge, right? Knowing the fact that we did have a little bit of a dip, so that kind of formed like a new platform, but technically the platform is non-existent because this is a relatively non-substantive type of escalation as a level of resistance because we never had any prior resistance levels, right? If you look at historicals. So right now we are in a new territory. Technically, we've been leaping up and away, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if we reach like $3 sometime soon, knowing the fact that we still have like a couple weeks before the September, catalyst of the expectations, right? So something to be mindful of. But for me, I think I missed the boat already, or for the ones that actually missed the boat already. I would ideally look to buy somewhere below here. And I think we are going through a cycle right now. And whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? So we have to be mindful of how that will go, right? And I foresee that we will be, I think we'll continue to leap up a little bit more. Ideally hit the $3 or close to $3. I don't think we will actually get to $3. I hope we do, right? Because that will be breaking through to really substantive flat numbers level, right? $1, $2, and $3, right? And these are really hard level to crack through psychologically among public investors for us to get there or incentivized to get there, right? And I think we are pumping Cardano so much and Solano so much is because of the fact that these are relatively lower price point for public investors, so it's less price sensitive. But also with respect to a lot of the media affectations has been adopting on the altcoin, so driving a lot of buying pressure, right? So what I see going forward, I think we might hit like $3. So if you want to buy now, that the risk is really high. So I probably suggest not to do so. But to each his own, depending on your risk tolerance. But just know that I think we might see a surge and then a dump, right? And I don't think the dump is going to be like all the way. I think it's going to be a dump, and then we kind of consolidate around the level of $2.39 or $2.40. Scoop up, and then you'll be seeing some sort of like a FOMO effect called the bull trap, comparable to the ways that we're seeing with respect to Ethereum at the moment, and then sell down back to the normalized level, right? And ideally at the $1.87, which I know we will be testing in the future, and ideally $1.45 before the whole percolation. So I personally would start to buy anywhere below $1.45 or around the yellow area. I'll be a little bit more aggressive from there, right? So that's Cardano. Risk is definitely increasing, but I think we do have a catalyst coming in September with respect to fork and some media affectation. So enduring the surge wouldn't be surprising to me, right? So Solana, another one we've been searching recently because of the altcoin effect, right? But with respect to the surge, it's not as drastic in comparisons to Cardano, right? Because of the price level, firstly, and the macro catalyst that's expected to happen in September. So Solana is I would say is comparable in terms of how severe is the buying activities right now. We get extremely overbought, right? We stretch up all the way. RSI is highly overbought right now. We deplete a little bit, obviously, for the right reasons, right? But I think, whatever goes up really, really fast has to come down just as fast, right? And I think we are at the normal course of the cycle. We hit that paradigm at the $83.66. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see another surge again, right? And this is another dead cat bounce or the bull trap, right? If you may. And let me show you just the graph real quick. So if you take a look at this, right, and I showed this in my previous video for Ethereum already, you have to go up, which you hit the paradigm, right, which is comparable to what we see right now at the $83.66. Also in Cardano, we haven't seen a dip yet. So we technically haven't completely reached paradigm, but we are obviously forming a paradigm. We are probably at the greed and delusion level to the point we hit the new paradigm. And next thing you know, you will see a dip, right? And I think we are seeing for Solana right now, which is what's going on with denial. And once we get to the bottom, right, you see some sort of a reversal, right? And I think the reversal should happen technically for Solana at the $66.87 level. So once we get there, we will probably see some scoop, right? Because people are thinking is we're back to normal, right? They're denying that we are dipping. They think, oh, this is just a dip, right? Some people are taking profit. We will keep going. We keep reaching all-time high. But if you know technical analysis, you know that that's not how the market cycle will look like. Because, again, we have to incentivize the whales that bought in around these level, right? Remember the awareness phase and the stealth phase. This is where the smart money, which is, people like you guys are watching on the channel, and then institutional investors bought in because of the they start to do more research, they're more aware before the percolations, and once they buy in, they get all the media affectation, right, with respect to manipulations, like pumping the publication companies to be printing out new articles on a daily basis on the respective crypto assets as a whole, and subsequently drive up all the way, right? And these are most of the time driven by public investors, right? But obviously stem from the whales incentives, right? So I think that's what's going to be happening right now, and I think ideally for Solana to hit $67, and for Cardano we still have to watch until we hit that new paradigm, which I think we potentially could get close to $3 and then sell off from there. So Solana, I would say maybe wait until $67 and buy a little bit, and then we will scoop up because of the dead cat bounce, but just know that the risk is really high, so it's very risky. And the risk-reward ratio is not in your favor at the moment right now. That ideally going back down to the $45 level in 2 weeks or in a month from now wouldn't be surprising to me, because whatever goes up really, really fast, this took like how many days? Like 15 all the way to today. So this is less than a week. You know what I'm trying to say? So seeing like 45 again in like 2 weeks from now wouldn't be surprising to me, to be honest with you, knowing the fact that we are extremely overbought at all levels right now. Okay, so now let's just talk about the price target. These are the price target we've identified so far. Again, right, these are my risk-averse targets, right? Cardano, $1.20. Second level, $1.14. 105 is not really a real level. Again, it's just more of a flat number, right? Because people like to buy at the flat numbers. $1, $2, $3, right? And I think Cardano with a chance of getting $3, right? Solana, I think 38 would be likely. But again, right, we do have that potential dip as a dead cat bounce scoop of $67. So if you want to be buying at that level, remember risk is not in your favor. I think this is a pretty risky move, but that's how the chart is setting up, and I think a dead cat bounce can be imminent. But ideally, I would be buying anywhere below 45. But for me, risk averse, 38, 33, and $27 level as the ideal dollar cost average zones for me.